Yer! What's up? What's good, everybody, man? How's everybody doing? What's up? Welcome, yo. Yeah. Man, how's everybody doing, man? How's everybody out there, man? Hey, man. I wanted to, I've been really enjoying telling y'all just about, the days, what the days have been looking like, some of the stuff that we've been doing. So yesterday I didn't come on and stream, obviously, right? And my girlfriend and I watched the show on Netflix, right? We love watching like 2020, all these true crime documentary type of shows. We love watching them, right? And so we decided to check out this one show on Netflix called The Worst Ex Ever. And we just started watching the predecessor to it, which is The Worst Roommate Ever, right? And it was 4 episodes, right? It was 4 episodes. It was nice. It got to the point we watched all of them. You watched all 4 of them shits. Stuck on the couch locked, right? I'm not gonna get too much into all of the stories, but there was a common thread amongst pretty much all of them, right? And that was the fact that I feel like in 3 out of the 4 of the episodes, it was 7 months in we decided to move in together, or they decided to move in a year later, we got married a year. All of these different stories, right? And I understand everybody's life is different, but I just never grew up like that. Like, it was never, oh, let's go sleep over here, or, oh, let's go sleep over there. And, like, I didn't know these people. I remember one time when I was younger, I was supposed to have a sleepover. It was my friend Aziz's birthday. Shout out to Aziz. Great. It was my homie from grade school through middle school. Awesome person. And we had the whole day lined up. Mind you, Aziz had all the games. He had all the Nintendo. He had everything, right? He was into cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Pokemon. He was actually the first person that I recall in like 4th grade, talking about, oh, I'm going to sell these cards on eBay. I was like, what are you talking about? So we had a great day lined up for his birthday. We were going to do laser tags, go back to his apartment, just kick it, or his parents' place, just kick it. We were just going to hang out. Guess who went home that day? I stayed for everything else, but my ass went home. Slept in my own bed. And I feel like there's just certain expectations now. Maybe this is something that's always gone on, right? But I feel like some people just expect things to move at this fast pace, right? And then be surprised when shit happens, because the reality is you don't know these people. Right? And when we look at, we bring this back to sports, right? Just on that idea of having a certain expectation immediately. One good game from one player, all of a sudden, oh, you're an MVP. Or one good season, oh, you're a championship team. not realizing there are steps that need to be taken. Sam and I had been together for how long before moving in with each other, and even then we knew there was going to be an adjustment period. And that was two people that have been together for a long time. So, you know, having a good expectation, I genuinely, I mean this genuinely, I genuinely think it goes a very, very long way. Now, let's get into this right over here. Let me see.
When I had my accident, I found out at that moment, nothing in life is promised except death. If you have the opportunity to play this game of life, you need to appreciate every moment. A lot of people don't appreciate their moment until it's past. And I plan to celebrate. I plan to celebrate and scream and pop champagne every chance I get, because I'm at the Grammys, baby.
Yes, Sirski.
I know everybody asked me the question. They wanted to know what kind. I knew he's gonna growl out. I knew he's gonna do something crazy. Everybody wanted to know what I would do if I didn't win.
You thought I was gonna let that motherfucker play out, huh? You thought I was about to let that shit play out? No, sir. No, sir. Hey, man. Hey. Losses are important, yo. We gonna get into it today, man. Yeah. Welcome, man. Welcome to another episode of the Jayson Estrera Show, where we talk about basketball, sports, and any topic that comes our way as accurate as possible. Now, today we're going to be talking about Caitlin Clark's rookie season coming to an end and takeaways from it. Good, bad, indifferent, whatever the case might be. And we'll be talking about the matchups to look forward to with the WNBA. I'm super excited for this weekend, by the way. I'm super excited. And we'll also be talking about the great Derrick Rose, who just retired from the NBA. Shouts out to him. We're going to get more into that later. But as always, man, thank y'all. I really appreciate y'all for joining me. Before we continue, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really helps the channel out. So I really appreciate that. Thank y'all so much, man. I appreciate it. I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all so much. So we're going to get right into it. Man. So the other night, Wednesday night, we saw the Indiana Fever lose to the Connecticut Sun. And, you know, it was obviously one of those things that, you know, some people are under the assumption, right, that the WNBA now is going to fall on its face with Caitlin Clark out of the playoffs, right? That's sort of the assumption right now, right? And it's one of those things that it's like, how is that possible, right? So, first things first, right? I think it was a great thing that Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever lost. Because in any great story, right, if all you do is win, I'm be honest, that story's gonna suck. It's gonna suck. Don't have no battles, don't have no hardships, you don't have to come back from anything. That story has no ebbs and flows, ups and downs, peaks and valleys. It has none of those. It's just this one straight line of success. I was actually glad she didn't get the MVP award. I was even more glad that she wasn't in the top 3. I'll be honest with you. Because we'll get into it in a second. Because I think now those things validate some of these fans that we don't like and support. Right? And so I was glad. Right? And her journey, right? It starts now, right? Like they like to say in the NBA, you know, that second year gets really difficult. Because now these pros have seen your speed in real time, your physicality, your strength. Now they have their film on your strengths and your weaknesses, the things that work, the things that don't work. We've already seen teams game planning for Caitlin Clark, which says a lot about her, by the way, right? And her taking the time off, I think, is a great move, right? She probably, her and Angel Reese, Camila Cardoza, all of, you know, everyone that was just, I don't even know, did Camila Cardoza just come out of college? Am I tweaking? You know, Cameron Brink, all of these women have gone straight from college. This year was her first season. Straight from their college season. So you got to think they're preparing probably in August. Starting to train for their college season last year. And then they go right into the draft. Right into training camp. Right into the season. No breaks. So I think it's a great move that Caitlin Clark will not be doing, you know, won't be playing basketball. She'll let her body heal. She'll train. And I think it's going to force a lot of fans to miss her. Right? Because her name will still be relevant, especially with Paige and Juju coming up. They get to, after the WNBA season, they get to kind of carry the torch until this season. And then they get to go on the same run that Caitlin and Angel were on, right? Going from, you know, August of this year all the way into next season, right? And so I think that carries over. And she'll be able to train. She'll be able to seek help. I think there's a lot of positives that come out of this. We saw what Caitlin Clark was able to do during the Olympic break and the Indiana Fever. Let's see what they could do with an off season, right? We'll get to really see their training and their hard work going into next year, especially with some great building blocks to work off of. The other part in this is the Connecticut Sun are kind of lucky, yo. They're kind of lucky because for a team that has so much synergy, right? 6 straight semifinals appearances. Alyssa Thomas, one of the best players in the league. And she thinks the game through, right? That's a very powerful part. DeWanna Bonner, Dejanay Carrington, to all of these pieces. And for a rookie Caitlin Clark and for a team in the Indiana Fever that really came together in the middle of this year to make that game too close. Caitlin Clark had a hell of a game. And to kind of bring that game closer than what it should have been in the second half. And even the first game, it was close through the first half. And then they started to pull away with Marina Mabrey and company. I think the rest of the league is on watch because of what Caitlin Clark was able to do this season. Now, everyone has spoken about the physicality and the refereeing, right? A lot of the Caitlin Clark fans cry and whine about it because they think that she's getting fucking abused out there when she's not. It's sports. It's nothing she can't handle. She's a grown-ass woman. She's strong as hell. She good. But the reality when it comes to the officiating is she was a rookie this year. She was a rookie this year. Now, imagine how the referees are going to change when she's a 2-3-time All-Star, 2-3-time MVP candidate, arguably the best player in the league in 2 to 3 years. And all of a sudden, she's getting a lot of these referees, a lot of these calls that maybe she's not getting now because, like I said, she's a rookie. You can't give that to her. If these players are mad at her now, or some of them, let's not do that, right? Let's not make a blanket. Some of them are complaining, and it's natural. I'm not saying they hate her or anything like that, but imagine what it might look like in 2-3 years when she's getting those calls now, when she's an established star in the league. They're going to fucking hate her. They're going to hate her. And frankly, they're going to have to get used to it. Like, it's the sad reality of it, but they're just going to have to get used to it. Now, speaking on a more, I guess a little bit more of a serious, let's switch it up a little bit on this topic that everybody has been talking on as of late. So let's listen to this.
Honestly, it's been a lot of nonsense. I think in my 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base. We had her face on a serious matter that happened in this world, and it's unacceptable, honestly. And there's no place for it, and we've been professional throughout the whole entire thing, but I've never been called the things that I've been called on social media, and there's no place for it. And basketball is headed in a great direction, but nah, we don't want fans that are going to degrade us and call us racial names. I mean, we already see what's happening in the world and what we have to deal with in that aspect. And we come to play basketball for our job and it's fun, but we don't want to go to work every day and have social media blown up over things like that. It's uncalled for, and something needs to be done, whether it's them checking their fans or this league checking. There's no time for it anymore.
Now, in response to those comments, the WNBA issued a statement saying the WNBA is a competitive league with some of the most elite athletes in the world. While we welcome a growing fan base, the WNBA will not tolerate racist, derogatory, or threatening comments made about players, teams, and anyone affiliated with the league. League security is actively monitoring threat-related activity and will work directly with teams and arenas to take appropriate measures to include involving law enforcement as necessary.
Now, there have been numerous occasions where this is the case. And Angel Reese has spoken up on this, and a lot of people have been killing her because she said she wants to play the villain role, and now people are saying that she's crybaby cheesing, right? No one should have to deal with that shit. No one. Right? And I always say this, right? I do not make the rules here, right? The reality is this. Fans have been like this for as long as I can remember. I didn't see the comments, but a lot of WNBA takes no accountability. It wasn't uncalled for. You know damn well why they mad. Stop being dirty or just play the villain. Trae Young does. KD does. And here's the thing, right? No one can control their fans or how they fan. Right? How many times have we seen Beyonce's fan base or Nicki Minaj's fan base or anyone with a massive fan base? I agree. Nobody should have to, but don't throw stones and get upset when they throw them back. It really is like it really is one of those, like, it's just a weird topic, right? Because you can't tell people how to be fans. Like unfortunately, when they're not in that arena, the WNBA or any of these teams have no control over what these people say. That's just a fact. We could say be better. We could say do this, do that. But the reality is these are how fans have always been. Always. Right? We've spoken about entitled fans that feel it's how it's always been. And with the rise in popularity of the WNBA, unfortunately, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It kind of comes with the territory. And the reason, right, we're going to talk about the reason why the WNBA hasn't done anything as of yet. And this is what I think is going on, right? All the money that they have made this past season, right, from all the merch, from everything, all that money hasn't been fully realized yet. Right? So when the season ends and they're on all of these board meetings, they get to now look at all of the numbers in the entire season in its totality. Right? From impressions, views, and then you get to the money. This is the merch sales, the ticket sales, everything, right? And I think what happens is those changes happen in between seasons when they get to talk about the money that they made and what they're expecting moving forward, right? That's why there hasn't been security. That's why they're talking about, we're going to implement it. They're reacting to this stuff in real time, and I know I've given them a lot of shit for it. But the reality is it's kind of on them to create this buffer between their athletes and the fans so that this negativity only lives in a place that don't exist, which is fucking social media. I mean, we've seen Russ get people kicked out. We've seen it on numerous occasions. We know which places these things take place at. Like, we know which cities these type of fans are. And unfortunately for y'all, she plays in Indiana, bro. Now, I don't know shit about shit, but she plays in Indiana, bro. And so this is it's kind of just a part of it. I do think that there needs to be some accountability, right? I think some of them gotta stand on business. You tell her fuck out of here, then it's fuck out of here. Don't do the, oh, fuck you, Caitlin Clark, and then, try to wiggle your way back into the fold because you know that her fan base is massive. Like I said, the growth of the WNBA, this is a part of it. It's a part of it. The NBA, if anyone has ever been on the like seen comments under basketball discussions, they're fucking toxic. I'm sure the running community saw it when fucking Noah Lyles was over here talking shit about. It's toxic. When people are talking off the cuff, just like they're hanging out with the homies, people say crazy shit. And obviously it's not good, it's not okay, but we don't know these people. The problem is when the person that speaks in that way is a motherfucker like Jason Whitlock, who has a platform, who has a following. That's when it's a real problem. But all these other motherfuckers, like, they don't matter. Y'all gotta remember, these people went online to Ticketmaster, TickPick, whatever it is, got the ticket. Oh, and then on top of that, they got fucked in the ass by some ticket fees, right? Because ticket fees are not cheap. So they did all of that. Oh, on top of that, Indiana Fever tickets are expensive. So they did all of that. Went to the game and pointed you out on the opposing team. Out of all 12, 15 players on that bench, they pointed you out. There's a reason, because you're fucking nice. And I get it. It's not okay, and in the moment, in emotions, I understand. But when you step away, that's what these morons are doing with their money. And you just have to have to take it. And it's on the WNBA to protect y'all. When y'all say, hey, get this motherfucker out of here, you get them out of there. And that's how it should be moving forward. But enough negativity, y'all. Enough negativity, because we have two great series that are about to take place, man. We have two unbelievable series between, the Las Vegas Aces going against the New York Liberty, and the Connecticut Sun going against the Minnesota Lynx. Now, I said the other day, I was like, shit, I think whoever comes out of this Vegas Liberty series is going to win the whole thing, right? And then the Pisha Collier proceeds to go and have 42 in the closeout game against the Phoenix Mercury. She averaged 40 points, by the way, in the two games against the Mercury. 40 points on like 60% shooting. It's insane. It's insane. And let's start with the Aces and the Liberty. Now, obviously, New York, right? I'm rooting for the Liberty. And I even said the other day, the Aces, they just don't look right. They don't look all the way together. They just lost to them the other day too, right? The Liberty just beat them. Granted, that was without Asia Wilson in the lineup. But do they have their matchups from this year? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Liberty are 3-1 this year against, or 3-1. No, they are 3-0 against them, and then 10-18-23 was their last game, which the Aces obviously won. Which was last in the in the WNBA finals. Now I want 29-6 to 22-13. I do think the Liberty are gonna win. I do. I really do. I think they have a lot going for them in terms of their momentum. They've been cohesive. They're not in a spot where they gotta figure this shit out right now because everyone's been coming back into the fold one by one. Versus the Las Vegas Aces, who have dealt with injury all season long, and then the Olympic break, and then so on and so forth. I thought that the Olympics might actually help the Aces because Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, and Kelsey Plum were able to get reps. Obviously, Asia Wilson too. But it didn't necessarily play out like that. They played well, but then they also went on a little slump, and Asia Wilson started wearing T-shirts to the games, right? And that's kind of been the story of their season. They have high points, they have low points. They beat up on a team that they should have beat. And I don't have the confidence in the Aces that them telling themselves, oh, we can beat them because we beat them last October, I don't think cuts it. Y'all haven't beat them this season. And I think there would have to be a collapse. Now, this game one is going to be as important as any game ones for the Aces. It'll dictate the pace of this series. It'll dictate a lot, in my opinion. And especially with these short series in the WNBA, it makes the importance of that game one victory, it heightens it by that much more. So I think that's something that we definitely have to keep an eye out for. The Asia versus Breanna Stewart matchup, I've already spoken about it. It's all about legacy and history. But let's also keep in mind that, like I was saying earlier, these losses sometimes are part of the narrative and the story, right? Asia Wilson having this historic year and losing in the playoffs. It's going to be heartbreaking. And it's going to drive her and that team in the offseason, and it'll also drive this story for the next year. And then the Liberty get to complete their full circle moment. So I do think that the Liberty winning and the Aces losing, not only good for New York, but I think it works for the WNBA in a weird way. It creates these narratives. Now it gets, oh, Asia won MVP, Breanna Stewart won the championship and finals MVP. Like, that's going to be the thing. And there's a lot of value in that to the people that think that this is just going to poof, disappear. That's not happening. They've talked about it in they talked about the way user base grows in like with Facebook a long time ago. And there's this massive spike, there's this massive increase, right? And then you'll lose maybe 75% of those people that you got, but you'll keep 25 to 30%. And then again, you'll do something else and there's going to be another spike, and then you retain X amount, and this keeps going over a couple years, and all of a sudden you have this massive base, which is exactly what's happening with the WNBA. They're going to lose some viewers. That happens. The NBA loses viewers, but they're going to maintain a good amount of them. And with these stories carrying over, next year is going to be the same thing, and so on and so forth. So I do think that, one, the New York Liberty will win this series. But two, I think it does something great for the league, which is it creates these narratives and the stories, which is what these leagues thrive off of nowadays, right? It's more than the game at this point. And these stories are so important. And these losses are such a key part of these stories. You can't have winners without losers. Right? Can't have losers without winners. It's just how it goes. Only one team can win at the end of the year. Now, looking over to the other matchup, we have the Connecticut Sun taking on the Minnesota Lynx. And let's see. They have split their matchups this year. The Connecticut Sun have won 2 out of the 3 games. What are their records? Let's see. 27, 12, 30, and 9. This is what I just personally think of this situation, right? These are the 2 best defensive teams in the WNBA. Excuse me. Napisha Collier is incredible. But the Connecticut Sun are physical as fuck. They have size and they have bodies that they could throw at her, from DeWanna Bonner to Alyssa Thomas to there's just so many different players they could throw at Napisha Collier. And then you add the fact that they've added Marina Mabrey in the middle of the season, right? And it has been a great spark for them. And when it comes to the Sun, the last 2 games that they won against the Fever were kind of grinded out games, right? Where they had to buckle down and it was ugly and it wasn't clean all the time, and they had to scrap to win the games. There's a lot of value in that, right? I think there's a lot of value in winning those types of games. Now, yeah, they're going to be in Minnesota. I want to say the Connecticut Sun win this series, y'all. I think the Liberty win the other series. But Napisha, she has just been hooping, dog. Oh, by the way, I think the Liberty win game 1 as well, too, at home. Man, it's... Okay. I'm going to do it like this. I really do think that the Connecticut Sun will win. I'm hoping. I don't think it's going to happen. But I'm hoping that Napisha Collier can keep doing what she's doing. Because if she's giving them 30 pieces, oh, you can forget about this shit. You can forget about this. They're not going to know what the fuck to do. Trust me. So, if she can get loose and fuck up everything that the Connecticut Sun are doing, I think the Minnesota Lynx win this series. But other than that, I do think the Connecticut Sun win. Not gonna lie to you. That's just how I feel. So I think it's gonna be the New York Liberty versus the Connecticut Sun. All East Coast. Wow. That'd be a crazy matchup. They're gonna be right up the block from each other. It's tough though. She's on a roll. Man, what if Minnesota wins this first game? Napisha Collier gets like 35, 32. Ooh, that'd be tough. With home court advantage. All the games were close too, man. I'm taking the Sun still. I think the Connecticut Sun take out the Minnesota Lynx. But like I said, Napisha Collier has been fucking unreal. So hopefully she keeps that up because I just want to see her go get buckets. That shit was lit the other night. She was going crazy, yo. Now, we are moving right along to a legend, really. A legend for real, man. And that is Derrick Rose has retired from the NBA. He says, "Thank you, my first love. You believed in me through the highs and lows. My constant when everything else seemed uncertain. You showed me what love truly meant. You turned the court into my sanctuary, a home where I could express myself freely. You made every early morning and late night we spent together worth every drop of sweat. You reminded me that I could always rely on you, that in every moment of doubt, you would show me what I'm capable of. You introduced me to new places and cultures that a kid from Chicago could have never imagined. You taught me that every loss was a lesson and every win was a reason to be grateful. You offered wisdom that was not just about the game, but about life, discipline, hard work, perseverance. You showed me that passion is something to cherish, ensuring that I pour my heart into every dribble, every shot, every play. You stood by me even when the world seemed against me, unconditionally waiting for me to pick you up. You gave me a gift, our time together, one that I will cherish for the rest of my days. You told me it's okay to say goodbye, reassuring me that you'll always be a part of me, no matter where life takes me. Forever yours, Derrick Rose." Now, that was beautiful, dog. That was enough to make a grown man cry. But for real, shout out to Derrick Rose. What an incredible career. What an amazing person, right? He was the person, he got himself on the Adidas payroll, his brother on the Adidas payroll, persevered through injury after injury, youngest MVP. I mean, just the list goes on and on. This guy was, if you've never had the pleasure of seeing Derrick Rose, go and watch a full game. He literally moved different. I mean, there's been athletes in the NBA, right? When he came in the NBA, he made some point guards look small. And it wasn't even like a height thing, because it's not like he's tall. But when he came in, he just seemed big. Like his stature, I don't know, you want to call it aura. The way he played when he would get into his fucking, into his gap, it was incredible. People have talked about guys faking injuries and sicknesses to not play against this dude. LeBron had to guard him because LeBron was basically him, but taller. I mean, just an unreal, unbelievable talent. And unfortunately, right, because of his injuries, is also one of the biggest what if stories that we have, right? People have talked about Grant Hill or Penny Hardaway or Tracy McGrady, right? But none of those guys were an MVP of the league. And that's what makes him different. Because we literally, at that young of an age, caught a glimpse of what could have been. And unfortunately, when it comes to these all-time lists, right, he's going to get left off of a lot of them. Because the numbers just aren't there. I mean, honestly, it's unbelievable that he made it 16 years in the NBA. Unbelievable. I mean, he was big for the Knicks just 2 seasons ago. And I'm trying to, because I know there was a question of whether or not he's a Hall of Famer, right? How long was his stretch? Let's just do that. Let's just do that, man. Let's just do that. Let's just look at Derrick Rose's career stats so we could just take a look at it real quick. Just so we get an idea, right? All right. For his career, 17.4 points, 5.2 assists, 3.2 rebounds on 45.6% shooting and 31.6% from three. Excuse me. And he was a career 83% free throw shooter. Now, here, let's take a look at this real quick. Take a look at this with me, y'all. First season, Rookie of the Year. All-Star in his second season. MVP at the age of 22, right? 25 points per game. And then only played 39 games in 2011-2012. Did not play in 2012-2013 because of his ACL surgery. Only played 10 games, 51. I mean, it's just the list, just everything was just downhill after that, right? So we didn't even see his dominance for, it didn't even last for like a 3-4 year stretch. right? Like, he hit MVP, but the length of years where he was dominant just wasn't there. He's had good seasons since then, but just not obviously the way it was. You know, I look at Tracy McGrady, who for a stretch I think was arguably the best player in the NBA, winning scoring titles. It was like a 4 or 5 year stretch where he was really, really great. And unfortunately for Derrick Rose, he just doesn't have that. And it's weird, man, because I was thinking about this, right? When we get these super athletic guys, right? They're kind of like a phone, damn near, bro. The first generation of this evolution, especially when it comes to, I guess, especially when it's athletic players, right? You want to think Penny Hardaway back in the day, right? A Grant Hill, Tracy McGrady, Derrick Rose, right? They're all predecessors to players that came right after them. A Grant Hill, you know, a lot of people compared like a LeBron to his style, right? Triple double, downhill dunks, no threes, no jump shots, really just getting to the hoop. LeBron's just bigger. Penny is kind of like T-Mac almost, and T-Mac was the predecessor to Kevin Durant, right? And then, you know, before we got a Ja Morant, we had a Derrick Rose and then a Russell Westbrook, right? And I'll say this about Derrick Rose, because I was kind of mentioning it a little bit earlier. He might be the most athletic player I've ever seen. Like, I wasn't watching Mike Jordan like that in real time. But Derrick Rose, his speed, his quickness, the way he exploded, his jumping ability, it's very, Ja Morant is kind of like him. Ja just don't have the body that he did, or the strength. But the way Ja explodes and the way he hangs his dress, it's similar. And, you know, I think that when it comes to the basketball world, that Derrick Rose, you know, will always get the respect that he deserves. NBA guys will always talk about him and revere him. I'm sure the stories are going to come out now, right, of with his retirement. It's going to come out, and people are going to be talking about it. But, hey, man, congratulations to him. What an incredible career. Just absolutely, just an unreal talent. Now, speaking of one retired athlete, Shaquille O'Neal is in the news again, y'all. This time with a brand new starting five. And that starting five is Michael Jordan at point guard for some reason, Kobe Bryant at the 2, Julius Erving at the 3, Karl Malone at the 4, and himself at the 5. He's been on the news a lot, yo. He's been on the news a lot. And a part of me is starting to think that this is not an accident. I don't think this is an accident no more, y'all. Because Inside the NBA is ending. And he had just started this podcast, right? I think it's important for Shaq to get this podcast up and running and be successful before the season ends. And it seems like this guy has just been clip farming. I don't even think he means half the shit that he's saying, that or that he believes half the shit that he's saying. Not means that he believes half the shit he's saying. He's saying it because he knows it'll get a reaction out of people. Like he straight up asked Draymond why Kobe isn't in the GOAT debate when Kobe's in the GOAT debate. He just third. Or at least for me. That don't mean he not in the debate. There's people that got him first. Players playing in the NBA right now have Kobe Bryant first. So he's asking these rhetorical questions that don't mean nothing. All he's doing is he's just pushing his platform. He's trying to get his subscriber base up, his views up, so that when the season ends, he could shop it around for a new deal, probably. But if y'all want to get into this top 5 real quick, first and foremost, why the fuck is Michael Jordan playing point guard? Because I promise you right now, bro, if Michael Jordan is playing point guard on your team, there's not a goddamn soul that's going to touch that ball. There's not a goddamn soul that's going to touch that ball. He going to dribble the ball up and score by himself. So that's when I knew this shit was trolled. I knew he was trolling. Why you got him at point guard? Julius Erving at the 3. I know that we've joked about, we've said that LeBron don't got a jump shot like that. And I know for a lot of the newer fans that might sound odd because he has the fucking hand look. He has the hand look into the shot, right? But to put Julius Erving there at the 3, I've never even seen this man shoot a jump shot before. No disrespect to Julius Erving, but I've never seen it. How the fuck you skip over Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen, Kevin? What are we doing? We just skipping Larry now? And then Karl Malone at the 4. I know I've argued this, but did Kevin Garnett disappear somewhere? Like, if you didn't want to say Tim, you put Karl Malone? That's why I knew this was bogus. This is why I knew it was bogus, because this shit don't even make sense. He's just doing it to get a rise out of y'all. And I think it's strategic. And y'all falling for it. Y'all falling for it. I mean, I'm talking about it. But there's a reason. There's a reason I'm talking about it. I'm informing y'all on what he's doing. But we've obviously had, we've been seeing Media Day has kind of taken over all of our timelines. Everybody's been getting interviewed. Everyone's been making a big deal out of Jaylen Brown looking bigger off of this break, right? And I'll be honest with y'all. It matters in the sense of if, he's coming in great shape or whatnot. But it don't matter if he don't maintain it. Right? Like, if he not going to keep lifting hard during the year to try to keep some of that strength and that muscle mass, and loses it because they're traveling, a lot of cardio, eating out, whatever the case is, then it was for nothing. And this is just, and I even saw some guys say he looked the same. So I was like, I don't know. Right? What we do know is this. Their team is coming back. And whether you think Jaylen Brown looks bigger or not, he looks in fucking shape, which is a great thing, right? You had a Jason Tatum, a Derrick White, and a Drew Holiday that played in the Olympics. So I'm expecting them to be in shape too. So now this team that just won a championship, their core guys don't have to waste time getting in shape during the preseason, and they just get to work on their strategies, their concepts, they just get to prepare instead of using these couple of weeks to get in shape instead of getting their basketball concepts and ideas locked in. I think that goes a long way. Because anyone in there that works out and exercises, and I ran this, it takes a lot of time and effort. And having to do that and then go through the mental preparation of getting these plays, getting these sets, getting all of these things down, that's when you see some guys kind of just waver off. Because they're not as locked in as they could be, because now they're physically drained trying to do this thing, trying to get in shape. So I think that goes a long way for the Celtics. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. If they come out and win the Commissioner's Cup, I think everyone is in trouble. If they come out and they are on a mission to win that Commissioner's Cup, I believe it's to send a message. If I were them, that would be how I'm thinking about this, right? We're not letting anyone win shit this year. That would be my mentality going. We're not even going to let them sniff and have this weird ass confidence of, oh, I won the Commissioner's. No, fuck out of here. We taking that shit too. That's how I would approach it. And from the sounds of it, you know, the Joe Mazzulla and the staff, these guys seem hungry and ready. And the rest of the NBA, for the most part, like I said, they have this. They're gonna have this stage of meshing. The Knicks got to do it. The Sixers got to do it. I guess the Oklahoma City Thunder don't really have to do it as much. But like I said, I do think that they lose some firepower with Josh Giddey going to Chicago. The Kings have to do it. The Bucks have had a year under their belt, but they have lost Pat Bev. So we got to see how they look moving forward. Indiana is pretty much the same. So, you know, these teams are still playing catch up. And it honestly looks like the Boston Celtics are primed to win that Commissioner's Cup. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm super excited for this season, man. I'm super excited for this weekend. Game ones in the semifinals are taking place on Sunday. New York Liberty versus the Las Vegas Aces. Connecticut Sun versus the Minnesota Lynx. I'll be there watching. I hope y'all will be too. That will do it for me for now. As always, I really appreciate y'all, man. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. It truly helps the channel out. We're trying to take this into outer space, y'all. We trying to take this to Mars. I promise you. We gonna get there. But to get there, I'm gonna need y'all help. But as always, y'all could have been anywhere on the internet, but y'all were here with me. And I really appreciate y'all, man. Oh, well, I think both of those were good subtractions, but we'll agree with the Celtics point. Hey, bro, listen. I'm gonna tell you because you keep telling us my Knicks, and I hope so. Because I was talking about this earlier, right? Like, there's stepping stones. There was a great quote that Donovan Mitchell had. He said, when it comes to the Cavaliers, that they're taking steps in the right direction, right? I think we're obviously moving in the right direction. We're moving forward. Like I said, if we can make it to the conference finals, I think that's a really good thing. Right now, it's the Celtics to lose. I'm not going to lie to you. It's the Celtics to lose. We got to put some respect on Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, because clearly if they weren't on the same team, they could both be playing for MVP awards year in and year out. That's how it comes off right now. And listen, man, as a Knicks fan, it low-key kind of scares me, but I just get that vibe like they're about to go on a run. Like I just get that vibe. Like, I don't know, man. Hopefully them Knicks get them motherfuckers out of here. But that's gonna do it for me for now, man. I will see y'all later. Sunday there's games. Oh, by the way, new schedule. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays is what we're going to be doing until further notice. Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. I'll see y'all next week. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Y'all have a great weekend. I love y'all. Y'all the best. Peace out. I'll see y'all later, man. Peace, 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 peace.